So I just had a client call me a few minutes ago, and their question was, they said, you told me that I was judgment proof, but someone sues me and they're getting a judgment. But I thought you said that I was judgment proof. And so I'm going to address the question, what is judgment proof? And why do some debt collectors sue people that are judgment proof? Okay? So what judgment proof means is that if someone were to sue you and get a judgment against you, you have nothing that they could take from you. Okay? So it's like you're judgment proof. There's nothing that you have that they can get. So it's kind of a different kind of word. I guess you could call it meaningless judgment, so to speak. Judgment proof. That doesn't, just because you're judgment proof doesn't mean that a debt collector can't choose to sue you. And they do. They do it regularly. But it doesn't matter for a lot of reasons. So first, what does the term judgment proof means? Well, okay, if you've been listening to our channel and you know about HELPS and we've explained that seniors' income, Social Security or pension, disability, VA benefits, that kind of income is protected by federal law. It can't be garnished or taken from a person, okay? So if you had a regular job and you made enough money, then yeah, you could be some of the wages could be garnished. In every state, a minimum of $217.50 net per week is protected from garnishment, no matter where you live. But in some states, it's more than that. Like in Texas, you can't be garnished. And then other states, yeah, you can make a lot more than that and it can't be garnished, which means that if your employer gets rid of garnishment and your income is less than that, then the employer, just puts a notice on there that you don't make enough money and sends it back. And so, yeah, but for seniors or disabled persons that receive protected income like Social Security and a pension, yeah, that money is protected. And then there's a law that protects it in a bank account too. Twice the amount of federal benefits in a bank account. That sum of money is protected, regardless of what monies are in there or where they came from a writ of garnishment. But if you had more than that in there and it came from a protected source, the excess could be held up, but a claim of exemption or challenge garnishment can be filed and can be released right away. But most of the people we deal with, they never have more than twice the amount of their Social Security or federal benefit in their bank account at any one time. Okay, so that's the income part of it. Now, what about the asset part of it? Well, every state has laws that protect certain amounts of types of property. For personal property, like a car, household goods, tools of trade, furniture, appliances, you name it. And a lot of them have what's called a wild card exemption, which means that a certain amount of money that's not covered under a specific category, if you have an asset there, it's protected, okay? And then the state will have an exemption in your homestead, the home you're buying, okay, for a certain amount. And it depends on the state. It varies. Some states have really small homestead exemptions, and that's technically protected from a creditor trying to execute or take your home. Now, and you could Google your state and the amount of, and you could Google your state and put down bankruptcy exemption. You'll get a whole list of what the exemptions are. But they're good in or out of bankruptcy generally. But it's not the practice of judgment creditors, consumer judgment creditors like a credit card or virtually any other type of lender who gets a judgment, to ever go after a person's property, even if it was worth more than the exemption amount, okay? So you could have a car that was newer. They're not going to come after the car. They just don't do it. It's too complicated and expensive. It's not like if they had a lien on the car, okay, like the lender who you borrowed money on the car, you didn't make a payment. Yeah, they can repossess it. But other creditors, Oh, they have to go through too much work. They don't do it. So, and then as far as a home is concerned, the same thing. If you got a home with equity over and above the home's exemption, they may file a judgment. It may become a lien, but they're not going to try to take the home from you. So in that sense, you're judgment proof. They're not going to take it. So, then the question is, okay, I'm judgment proof. Then why did they bother to sue me? Good question. A couple reasons. One is a lot of seniors or other people don't know what their rights are. They don't know their financial rights. They don't know that this income's protected. And if you've never been sued before, to get a lawsuit could be very intimidating. And they're not going to tell you what your rights are. A debt collector will never tell you your income's protected and that you're judgment proof. They won't say that. They won't call you on the phone and say, hey, you got to pay us this bill. But if you get Social Security and stuff, you're judgment proof, so you won't have to pay. They're not going to tell you that. You know, their job is to try to collect money from you. And I think the reason that they sue people, I think they figure that maybe some people will end up paying them, maybe going without to pay them, or borrowing from their kids, or borrowing from someone, or selling something which they don't have to do to pay a debt. So that's one reason. And then some make just a categorical decision that they want to file a lawsuit. For example, Discover will file a lawsuit almost no matter what. They just made that as a corporate policy. Even if they don't care if you're judgment proof or not, they're just going to file it. But remember, if you're judgment proof, they can't collect from you. There's nothing to be concerned about. So to answer the question is, you understand what judgment proof is, that they can't, if they sue you, get a judgment, they can't enforce the judgment by taking anything from you. Or it's a practical matter, they're not going to try to take something from you. And then the question then is, well, why do they sue if I'm judgment proof? Well, because they want to try to take advantage of a person's ignorance or intimidate them into paying them. Okay? So that addresses the question of what's judgment proof, and if I'm judgment proof, why do they do it? Now, I've told people sometimes that if you have 10 credit cards, 1.5 out of 10 might sue you. They could be more, could be none or less. Okay, but 1.5 out of 10 will sue. A lot of them don't sue. When clients enroll in Helps, we send what's called a cease and desist letter out to your debt collectors, people you owe money to, and telling them that, hey, this person's income is Social Security, it's a pension or disability or whatever it is, and don't bother them anymore. If you got any questions, call us. They can't afford to pay you. So I kind of think that a lot of these creditors or collectors to whom we send letters, when they get that letter from us, they don't bother to sue the client because the jig's up. Okay, this person knows that their income's protected and it's going to be a waste of our money and time to sue them. But even if they do, you don't need to worry about it. So hopefully this is a good explanation on judgment proof and why you would be sued even if you are judgment proof. And the bottom line is you don't need to worry. Okay. We help seniors and disabled persons in all 50 states who have debt they can't afford to pay. We don't turn anyone away that needs the help we provide. And you can call the number below for questions, or visit our website below, and then click on subscribe to these videos. And you have a great day.